It's a little bit of a truncated version of proceedings today. I'm off out late tonight. I've got to get a little bit of sleep in the old cot, and then I'm off to do a bit of a double airport run. So I think I'm leaving about 1:30 in the morning, actually. So sleep is at a premium this evening. How is everybody? Is everybody okay? I hope you all are. Hello, Alan Paper. Just see you pop up in the chat there. Kirky Bailey as well. Julie Keys, Bloodnose. Looks like you're all here, all my regulars. Alan Edge. Bridget, good to see you. Yes. Here you all are. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Alan. Yes, brilliant. Good to see everybody. I don't know if you saw that video earlier, but Jim Davison, Jesus Christ, he really made me laugh earlier. Did you see the video? Go and have a look at it. If not, where I read what he did. He had a bit of a set too with a lefty on GB News. And it was to do with this statue hating, where you get figures that have done something and, the lefties like throwing them into the river and stuff like this. But they were talking about the fella that kind of pelted this statue with eggs. And I wonder if he'll get sacked. I don't want to be accused of clutching my right-wing pearls, but that's rather ridiculous, says he, opening the old can of pop. But this lefty thought that Margaret Thatcher's statue belonged at the bottom of the Thames. And I thought Jim's reply was absolutely marvellous. I tell you what, you swim down there with it and hold it down there as long as you can, girl. I've found, bloody hilarious. The one-liners he comes out with are absolutely wonderful. And there you go. And of course, we were talking about the dinghy divers in another video, what was going on there. And old Nigel's prediction that 100,000 will be over this year. And it always interests me reading the comments. You've been gossiping about me, have you? All right, so I'll have to have a look back at the history, Chrissy. Yes, it always interests me about the comments on, dinghy diver videos. You get them, you can't say dinghy diver, you're racist, or you can't say wake up and... leave them poor disadvantaged folk alone. But I was interested when I read the comments this evening, and I do read all the comments, by the way, that more and more people seem to be waking up to what's going on. And I saw a few comments squarely aimed at this government. How are they allowing it to happen? But this has been going on for donkey's years, I'm afraid. Absolute donkey's years. And it's getting all... all the more prevalent now because it's more in the press. Hello, Julie Baldwin, one of the moderators. Good to see you. I want to know what this gossip's about that everybody was apparently saying. I'll have to have a look about that later. Or look at Andy's face on the screen picture. I'm waiting for him to swear and gob off. I'm not that bad, am I? Oh, my God. You see someone's gob a bit and you get accustomed to it. You have been gossiping about me, haven't you? Oh, my God. Well, at least what you see with me is what you get, unlike some quarters. It's crazy. Andy, there will be more than 100,000 boat jobs. Chrissy Williams, I agree with you entirely. Now, all these figures that I quote come from the media. I'm very careful to only quote what's public knowledge. Nigel the Handyman and Zena, hello to you, and Jane Griffiths and the real Pollyanna too. Yes, but I'm very well aware that they always understate it because they don't want it to look as bad as it actually is in reality, you see. So that 100,000 could be 150,000. You never know. Andy, sort the picture out. I thought you turned into a dinghy diver just then. What happened? You tell me what happened. It looks fine at my end. Yes, hit the like button, people. We've got nearly 60 watching and 30 likes, so let's get them up a little bit more. Philip Davis, Philip from Orlando, catching up. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. Yes, I always, as I say, feel they understate it. We had some more controversy from Parliament again today. I don't know if you saw in the news, but here's one for you. Let's find it on here. My son's put the calculator on here. So he's kind of buggered up my display, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, there we go. We got it. Right. Yes, breaking news. Tory MP arrested for rape and ordered to stay away from Parliament. Oh dear, what do we have here? A serving Tory MP, unnamed, has been arrested on suspicion of rape and sexual assault offences, it's been reported. The man in custody in the latest shock allegation to Westminster. Chief Whip Chris Heaton Harris has asked the MP to stay away from Parliament while things are getting probed. That's as in the event. A Whip office spokesman said the Chief Whiff, Chief Whiff, I nearly said, may as well be the same thing. The Chief Whip has asked that the MP concerned does not attend the parliamentary estate while an investigation is ongoing. Until the conclusion of this investigation, we will not be commenting further. Police said the allegations relate to offence allegedly committed in London between 2002 and 2009. So the bottom end of the scale, they wait 20 years before all this comes out. Yes, I'm not too sure about that. That's a hell of a long time for something like that to come out. They first received a report of the allegations in January 2020 and have conducted a 2-year investigation into the claims. Oh, okay, so this has been on the old QT for a while. Scotland Yard said a man was arrested on suspicion of indecent assault, sexual assault, rape, abuse of position and misconduct in public office. It's understood the Conservatives will not make a decision on whether to suspend the whip until after the police investigation is concluded. I don't know what people think of that, but if there's the slightest inkling that there's a problem, suspend the whip with regard to, returning it if they're proved innocent. But, remove it if not. The arrest comes just a month after Tory MP, here's one, Imran Ahmed Khan was convicted. Fellow Conservative David Warburton was suspended following allegations which he denies. It was reported last month that 56 MPs have been referred to Parliament's Independent Complaints and Grievance Scheme over similar complaints of a certain nature. The list is said to include 3 members of Boris Johnson's own cabinet and 2 shadow ministers, according to the Sunday Times. So it's all go at Parliament, isn't it? My God, they're all coming out of the woodwork. I suppose the House of Ill Repute, I guess you could call it. And I'll be interested to see how that one actually develops. And I'm sure we'll find out more in due course. But you do have to wonder whether things will happen like that. Here we go. More breaking news. We got the stuff about the gas and electricity going on. Tories vote down windfall tax that could save you £600. This is a breaking news story. Tory MPs have voted down a bid to impose a windfall tax on gas giants that Labour says could save struggling families £600 a year. Now, is this because some of their cronies are on the board of directors for these firms, or is this political power play? Who knows at this? But, have a look at this reaction. It makes me fucking sick when I see this. This is old Dishy Richie and Bojo there. Smug bastards, a pair of them. Look at it, ridiculous. And that's their opinion of continuing to make life a little bit difficult for us mere mortals. Let's have a laugh and a giggle, shall we? Oh yes, we really appreciate that. Come time. Where are we? The opposition party tabled an amendment to the Queen's speech backing a one-off levy on North Sea firms to help people who have been plunged into poverty amid the cost of living crisis. But MPs rejected the move by 310 votes to 248. Well, there wasn't a lot in it, really, was there? Earlier shadow climate change minister Ed Miliband, that's a mouthful, implored Chancellor Rishi Sunak to swallow your pride and back the measure. During a heated debate in the House of Commons, he said he would have no idea how he would cope with soaring energy bills if he was on the basic level of universal credit. Well, same as everyone else, they fucking don't. I can see something happening not too far away. He added on the windfall tax, the truth is they've run out of excuses. And amidst the chaos and confusion about what their position is, I think a massive U-turn is lumbering slowly over the hill. But I say this to the Chancellor, swallow your pride and get on with it. Mr. Sunak repeated his claim that no option is off the table, and if oil and gas giants do not invest their profits back into the economy, then the policy could be introduced. Some senior Tories indicated their support for the Labour proposal, with Conservative former Minister Robert Halfon labelling oil company bosses the new oligarchs. I mean, you look at Martin Lewis's thing with Ofgem yesterday, fucking disgrace. That's what it all is. He told MPs the oil bosses are earning multi-million pound salaries and getting multi-million pound bonuses. They're in essence, in my view, the new oligarchs, and I would urge him to consider both a windfall tax on the oil companies, which we can then use to cut taxes for the lower paid, or cut energy bills. Energy bills ain't going to get cut anytime soon. I think they need to wake up to that. And we can also introduce a pump watch monitor to make sure there's a fair competition, that consumers get a fair deal at the pumps. Well, I'm paying on average about 177 a litre at the moment. That ain't going to change anytime soon, I tell you. Not a single Conservative MP voted in favour of imposing a windfall tax on oil and gas producers. Very, very interesting. More cost of living news there. I mean, you know, the Bank of England is making doomsday predictions about this whole thing. We're going to end up with catastrophic food prices. The bills are shooting through the roof. You got Martin Lewis saying rather strong words, which you don't usually hear him say. It's a disgrace. It really is a disgrace. And is there an end in sight? I do not know. Anyway, this is the Daily Chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby, everybody. Hope you're doing all right, and thank you for joining me today. If you haven't done so already, please give the chat a thumbs up for me. And also, if you're new to the channel, and this is your first chat, or you've only just been about, please consider subscribing as well. We're shooting up in the right direction now. And it's good of you all to support us. I just want to give a shout out to all the channel members as well that donate a nugget a month to Andy the Gabby Cabby. I very much appreciate all of you. And of course, if you want to do that, there's no ties at all. You can back out anytime you like, and it just goes in the Coke fund. That's Coca-Cola rather than the other Coke you're thinking. Dave, car diesel 180 in Broadstairs. Is that the Broadway by any chance? Because I shall be going there about 1:30 in the morning to shove some diesel in my old fuel tank, and it wouldn't surprise me. Here, did you see today was the hottest day of the year? Give me a 1 in the chat if it's been really hot where you've been, or a 2 if it's been freezing and chilly. I mean, this thing here reckons we've reached temperatures of nearly 27.5 today. I'm sitting in my car and I'm fucking roasting. I really am. Politicians are traded like stock. Sorry, yeah, that's bloody true. Who remembers the blackouts in the 70s? I didn't turn up till the back end of the 70s, so I'm a bit out of touch with that. But that was the winter of discontent and all that, wasn't it? I do wonder if we're heading for that territory again. My friend in Melbourne saying he pays the equivalent of 79p a litre. Just shows you how much they're ripping the arsehole out of it, doesn't it? Hit the like button to improve your sex life. like. No, let's not. Hi, Mum. Good to see you. Zena W. Dave. 11111. Yeah, everybody seems to have experienced quite a good day today with the odd 2 here and there. That's all good. 1.5 for Julie Baldwin. Well, you are up to north, ain't you? You can't tell what's going on up there. It gets a bit colder than down here. Sorry about that crummy accent. I had to do it. I remember the blackouts, Julie Key says. The only blackout I recall is after 16 pints, a dozen whiskey chasers, and a party 7. But there you go. I remember the TV used to stop at 10 o'clock at night. Was that when Boris and Carrie in their youth used to come on the TV screen, Mum, and go all the way through to about 6 o'clock the following morning? I remember that one. Apparently, the guy who invented a water engine car was found dead after running out of a restaurant screaming he'd been poisoned. It was in the USA. So, yeah, I read about that earlier. And, you read all the stuff about Nikola Tesla and, stuff way back when. It's crazy what gets hid and what we get put in front of us, isn't it? It's nuts. It's nuts. Nothing like us, Andy the Gabby Cabby. Yes, absolutely. Andy, you got major thunderstorms tomorrow night. I haven't got a bloody clue, Alan, to be honest. Chrissy Williams in Folkestone, not that hot, but I live by the harbour. It's windy. Yeah, I went through your way earlier, Chrissy. I collected some ladies from Deal. I don't know if you know Middle Street down near the seafront. I picked up from there and drove kind of past Folkestone way, so I was in your area earlier on. Did too. Sorry, Julie. Okay, Trevor Fuller, 111. Looks like we've had some half decent weather all the way around, haven't we? Which is good. John Harris, I'm old enough to say so. I've 60 candles ready. Love and respect. That's Hatchy. Apparently they've got. All right, I've read that comment out. But amazing. Right. I mean, the other thing that I can't help but see when I look through the news again is MAD, mutually assured destruction. And of course, this is the idea that if one person launches a big nasty nuke at a country, then the other country will launch a big nasty nuke back at the country where it came from. And we've had all of the scaremongering bullshittery about Putin and his rather large, rather fast, unstoppable missiles. Well, look what I see today. This is a picture of a B-52, and there you go. You probably can't see the writing. It's probably backwards like it is on my screen. But it says, US tests 4,000 mile an hour hypersonic missile to rival Putin's Satan II bomb. Oh, stop it, please. It's constant shit. I'll tell you what, our media is probably Russia's best propaganda tool ever. They absolutely love this stuff. The US has successfully tested a hypersonic weapon that flew at 5 times the speed of sound. It comes just 1 month after Russia test launched its Satan II, which allies of Putin claim could wipe out Britain in just 4 minutes. I don't think it's a case of could wipe out Britain in 4 minutes. It would take 4 minutes for it to get here. The US Air Force used a B-52 to release the air-launched rapid response weapon off the coast of Southern California on Saturday. It said following separation from the aircraft, the RRW's booster ignited and burned for its expected duration, achieving hypersonic speeds 5 times greater than the speed of sound. Russia's already targeted Ukraine with hypersonic missiles whose speed and maneuverability make them difficult to track or intercept. Putin said these weapons aren't anything like you've seen in the world before and would make countries think twice about interfering. And, the article goes on, but it's like handguns in America. There's advocates saying put them down. It's the same true with missiles, We've all got to put them down together. And if you've got one country boasting how fucking big their guns and weapons and all their bullets are, then Umaro Numo over the bloody Atlantic there is going to want an even bigger gun, bullet or weapon just to wave back, aren't they? Oh God, it's like we're standing on the bloody precipice and we might slot over the edge somewhere. I don't know where this is going, but all I know is our media are just trying their level best to scare the crap out of us. I don't know what you think about it. Also, another thing I noticed earlier, I tried to go to rt.com because sometimes I like to just check things from the other side of the fence, and I couldn't get on there. It kept timing out. It just wouldn't allow me to go on there at all. So I do wonder if that day has come where our access to Russian media is completely and utterly out of the picture. I mean, who knows? Listen, folks, this is the daily chat with Andy the Gabby Cabby. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. If you haven't done so already, can you please give me a thumbs up? We've got nearly 100 people watching, and we could do with the old thumbs up just coming up a little bit more. That's wonderful. I appreciate that. If you haven't done so already as well, please consider subscribing to Andy the Gabby Cabby. You can do that. It's down there somewhere, I think. Subscribe, and you can hit the notification bell and come up with videos every time we do something. That's wonderful. And you can find us on social media and all the other bits and pieces as well. But I mean, I said, we are, or we seem to be, a good advert for the Russians. Our media seem to be using this to great effect. I mean, one thing I keep seeing is bullshit like this. Yaskov Kedmi. Well, Niet, he's all right to say. How'd you bloody pronounce that? There's the geezer right there, yeah? Mind you, I think I've hit something I shouldn't have done. Some adverts come up online, which is completely bollocks up the thing. But there we go, right. He says, Russian TV pundit calls for Britain to be bombed back to the Stone Age. Oh, isn't this wonderful of him? Absolutely marvellous. A Russian state pundit has told his country's military to bomb Britain's power stations and take us back to the Stone Age. Look at it. They even want to save us money on our electricity bills. Isn't this wonderful? Bomb the shit out of them and lights out. It's a simple solution, isn't it? Broadcaster Yaskov Kedmi said Russia should hit the UK with its Zircon missile. I've heard it all now. A hypersonic missile capable of reaching 6,670 miles an hour. Well, it makes that bloody thing that the Americans knocked off sound a bit dwarfy compared with that. He then suggested one of Russia's nuclear capable missiles would be too good for the UK. Well, thank you very much for that. I don't actually want a suntan, really, unless I go out looking for one. There is no need to use such a big weapon for Britain. 1 or 1.5 launches from a multi-purpose submarine with zircons of all things, will be enough. About 50 to 60 of Britain's power stations will be gone within 10 minutes, and Britain will be back in the Stone Age. Well, we're heading that way quite happily on our own, thank you very much. Within 10 minutes, nothing else is needed. It'll be back in the Stone Age within 10 minutes. I wonder if he's friends with Fred Flintstone. He keeps mentioning the Stone Age, doesn't he? Kedmi's desperate remarks come hot on the heels of retired Colonel a retired colonel, who warned Russia was in full geopolitical isolation after invading Ukraine. He added, however much we would hate to admit this, virtually the entire world is against us. The retired colonel also mocked Putin and his threats, saying they actually look quite amusing. Yeti Kedmi joined a long list of Russian broadcasters who appear happy to threaten the UK with big words. Threats have been going on for months, haven't they? I always say with threats, don't threaten, do. If you don't do, shut the fuck up. The same is true here. Last month, Channel 1's 60 Minutes released a video demonstrating how Europe could be nuked within 200 seconds and leave no survivor. I think we'll have to ask Diane Abacus how many minutes that is. 60. Kremlin propaganda. You can see how seriously I'm taking this. It's the same old. Kremlin propaganda also warned Britain would be plunged into the sea and drowned in radioactive tsunami if Russia launched an attack. Dmitry Kislyov, widely dubbed Putin's propagandist-in-chief, was filmed saying what will happen after Boris's words about a retaliatory strike on Russia. Why do they threaten vast Russia with nuclear weapons? Well, they're only a small island. The island is so small that one Sarmat missile is enough to drown it once and for all. Russia missile Sarmat, also known as Satan II, the world's most powerful, is capable of destroying an area the size of Texas or England in one hit, apparently. A single launch, Boris, and there is no England anymore, once and for all. Why do they play games? Well, this is about the third or fourth time in the space of a fortnight I've read an article like that, or a variation of. It's just, the fear mongering bullshit again. It's trying to keep us in that perpetual state of all the time. I don't take it seriously anymore. Of course, I do the situation. It's very concerning over there, but it's one of them things, and we have to be careful of the media and what they do and what they say. Well, I'm going to jump in the chat and spend a bit of time having a look, seeing what people have got to say. I remember the power cuts in the 70s. We were kids. We used to love them. It's a great opportunity to go shoplifting our sweets, as Paul Crombie. I won't tell the police. They've probably forgotten all about you. Did anyone else read the article about the 15-year-old that ended up having to be taken out of school by her mother because of the lefties? That rings a very vague bell, that does. A very vague bell. I remember one of my kids' schools. I remember when we went for an induction there. Speaking of this, and when I walked in, there was something about all the religions in the world. There was Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and a couple of others, and I was fascinated by the order in the room in which these religions actually were displayed. And to say Christianity didn't rank too well walking around the room was a bit of an understatement. I mean, I'm a believer you need to have a broad understanding of everything that goes on in the world. Not you don't necessarily have to be in it, but you need to understand certain nuances of certain things. So it's good that the kids are educated on all the different aspects of the world, but they should be educated and not influenced, if you know what I mean. And that's where these bloody leftards come in, and they can poison our kids' minds. So we have to be vigilant on that all the time, I think. Christine, USA tested a hypersonic missile today, launched from B-52, so he will get it back at him. That's what I was just talking about with mutually assured destruction. You've got to tip the scales, tip the balance back in our favour, or make it neutral once again. That's the thing. Paul Comby, I was a teenager then, loved it too, as Julie Keys. Sounds to me like the 60s and 70s were a hell of an era, and I missed it. I saw... Well, I was alive for 2 years of the 70s, and I don't remember it really. Dustman strike in the 70s were okay for us kids. Rat hunting with catties and air guns on Clapham Common. Jesus, Jay Goose. Telly shut off after tea when I was small, so kids could be put to bed. Yeah, I agree with that, Christine. There's what you're saying about the media and how they're making people out to be. Thank you, Alan Pate, for the shout out about 100 likes. We got 111 watching and 81 likes. So come on, folks, give that thumbs up a hit for me. Let's get that up to the ton before we part company. Turkey threatening to spoil any expansion of NATO. In bed with Tovarich, possibly. Oh, well, speaking of spoiling, completely different. I saw another thing on here somewhere where Spain's talking about extending certain rules again. I think they don't like the tourist trade. To be honest with you, I think they, want out, or they don't want people coming there. It's nuts. I think they're extending everything into June, from what I know. The Stone Age, ha ha ha, PMSL. Sorry, I need to go by. That's Lorna 993. Well, goodbye. Thank you for stopping by. I think I'm a bit out of date on all these. It's the equivalent of Diane Abbott wishing to nuke Israel. Won't happen. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's crazy. Julie Keys, I have no idea about factual breakdown. I know she's got lots of personal shit going on in her personal life, so that's what we'll have to kind of bear with her, and she knows where we are. I'm sure she'll be back. I think she's got stuff with her daughter and a friend and other things. Harry Harlow, my dad was born in 54 and says it was the best time to be born. No PC or Walkabout. No, I bet there bloody wasn't. Kirky Bailey, loved the 70s. Women were fucking awesome. Yes, I used to work with a guy who used to like visiting nurses' dormitories in the 1960s, and he used to have to skirt it down the fire escape at the end to stop the bloody matron catching him. It's in the days when matrons were matrons, I think. But there you go. Mainstream media, including YouTube, cannot receive RT. The only way to watch is if you have a VPN. Nigel the handyman says, yeah, I managed to get access to the actual website itself for a time, but it seems to be by the by now. I reckon they've put the bloody kibosh on that as well. And again, it's media control, isn't it? Andy, do you think Biden's got dementia? Yeah, well, that's like saying Diane Abacus can count. I very, very do believe there is something very wrong there, and how he's in the position he is. Anything else, it'd be called elder abuse. It really would. I sent you a video of it by TPUK. It lasts about 1 hour. What she went through was horrendous, and the school did nothing. All right, Julie, I'll check that out when I can. I'll try and look at it tomorrow. John Harris, the fake war where you can wind up your friends. Yeah, I have seen that. There's a couple of variations of it. It's pretty scary. Adrian, exactly. Education, not indoctrination. Anyone remember Only Fools and Horses, where they had a trial run weekend holed up in their nuclear shelter, positioned on top of their block of flats? Yeah, I remember that one only too well. That is excellent. I'll tell you, most episodes of Only Fools and Horses, I know which one I'm watching within seconds. It's great, it really is. Power cuts in the 70s, baby boom. Yeah, that's true. It's a bit like the convicts' babies now, isn't it? Notice on a divorce lawyer's door, satisfaction guaranteed, or your honey pack. Love it, stink pooter. Cheers to the humour. Right, folks, I'm going to call it a day for now. As I say, I've got to get my head down. I'm out early on the road overnight. I'm Luton, so round and up like that, and then Heathrow down there and round like that. So I'm doing a full circuit of the damn thing. If you haven't done so already, we're on 91 likes now. So please, if you haven't, give us a thumbs up. Let's get that up to 100 in the last few seconds. Usually we can crack on with that fairly well. If you haven't done so already and you're fairly new to watching Andy the Gabby Cabby and you want to stick around, please consider subscribing to the channel also. You can do that with the button down there or somewhere around there, depending on what device you're looking at me on. Yeah, a couple of news stories there today, and I still love what Jim Davison did with the lefty earlier. That really made me chuckle. Yes, I can imagine a lefty holding a statue down on the bottom of the Thames, but there you go. Don't forget, you can find us on social media. We're on there as well. We get a few things about. And yeah, that's it. We've just hit 100 likes, 101. So thank you very much for that, guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Toodaloo.